Cuba. All right, so here we are at Cuba. So in 1959, Batista is going to be very, very, very weak because of the withdrawal of Eisenhower. Castro, very, 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 very long story here. If you guys did any of the reading I told you to do over spring break before we knew what was going to happen happened, which I'm sure all of you read all the pages I told you to read. Castro is going to rise to power because of it, right? In again, a long sequence of events, Castro eventually comes to power after Batista is ousted. All right. So Castro comes to power. He might have not been the best thing to ever happen to Cuba. Despite what he states in the beginning, he kind of develops a communist vibe in Cuba. He is going to take land, like I said, in the 40s. In the late 30s and 40s, a lot of American money went into Latin America and bought up land for American companies, especially in the agricultural sector, to operate. So he's going to take that land back, all right? And he's going to take it and he's going to redistribute that land the way that he sees fit. He's going to execute political prisoners. He is going to kind of take the American influence in the area and try and mitigate it as much as possible. This was pretty threatening to America as a whole. Let's see what Eisenhower is going to do. A, authorize the CIA to conduct covert operations against Castro. B, authorize the CIA to plan an invasion of Cuba. C, implement wide-range trade agreements and generous loans to Cuba as per the 4-point program in Mr. Y telegram. Take a minute. Evaluate those options. What would you do? And now we'll pick back up with what Eisenhower does. He does A and B. All right, so him, the CIA, and Dulles are going to be behind something to kind of overthrow Castro. That's known as the Bay of Pigs invasion. We covered that. I believe it was James's group. I think it was James's group that did the Cuban Missile Crisis back when we did the crises of the Cold War. Bay of Pigs, not a good look. Doesn't go very well. It's not Eisenhower that does it. It's actually John F. Kennedy that does the Bay of Pigs, but Eisenhower did plan the Bay of Pigs because that went in line with how he wanted to handle Latin America. All right, let's get to the last one, the Dominican Republic. So Dominican Republic, this is right off the back of Cuba and what was going on in the Cuban kind of revolution. So Batista is exiled after Castro rises to power, and he is going to go to the Dominican Republic, and he's going to get in the ear of Trujillo, the leader of the Dominican Republic. All right. And as Batista kind of tells him about what was going on behind the scenes in U.S.-Cuban relations, Trujillo is going to get more angry, all right? And he's going to become kind of wise to what the United States is doing. So he is going to really start talking badly about the United States, and he tells Eisenhower, there's a quote down here, right? You can come here with the Marines, you can come here with the Army, and you can come here with the Navy or even the atomic bomb, but I'll never go out of here unless I go out on a stretcher. So this is a direct threat to Eisenhower, and he's saying, I'm not going to get done to me what just happened to Batista and what just happened to Cuba. So, A, authorize the CIA to conduct covert operations against Trujillo. Authorize the CIA to plan an invasion of the Dominican Republic. Or C, implement wide-range trade agreements and generous loans to Cuba as for the Point 4 program and the Mr. Y telegram. Take a second. What would you do? Picking back up with what he does. He authorized the CIA to conduct covert operations against Trujillo. All right. So Trujillo in 1961 is going to be assassinated by the CIA. All right. And it is directly a result of, again, Eisenhower's policy in Latin America and Trujillo stepping up and kind of talking badly about the United States and threatening Eisenhower and how he would never leave. So he is assassinated in 1961. I just realized that I did not explain what this was the first time that it came up, but the Point 4 program was this essentially program idea where the United States would use widespread trade agreements, as it kind of refers to there, to go in and help develop Latin America, both politically, socially, and economically. So it was not only a trade agreement, but it was also meant to kind of be cultural diffusion. You could say it's dollar diplomacy, but it's going to use American dollars to infiltrate those societies and project American culture. The more American a place gets, the less communist that it gets. That was the thought process behind that. So sorry about that. So that is what happens to Trujillo. So the conclusions. Do you like Ike? All right. This is where you guys are going to go. If we go back to the sheet, if you haven't finished this one, you're going to give your overwhelming opinions about what Eisenhower did. Some of you are going to be appalled by kind of what you saw there. Hopefully that spurs you to do a little bit of your own research. Some of you are going to be like, he did what was necessary because it was a threat. And, the more democratic a place gets, if it's that impoverished, it might have become communist. And who knows what that would have meant for the world at the time. So give your own opinion there, your own 2 cents, and then go back to our website here. This is the last part of the project right here. All right. You're going to do a little bit of your own research. I already broke it down in this video over here, but you're going to do a little bit of your own research on one of the 3 countries that we just talked about: Cuba, the DR, or Guatemala. All right. I want you to look into the relationship between the United States and those countries. Cuba might not be the best one because we haven't had that much of a relationship. I would really focus on the DR and Guatemala and kind of learn a little bit, educate yourself on how that relationship might be good, might be bad, and maybe it's going to be an eye-opening experience for you guys. So if you have questions, let me know. And as always, be good.